Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to mount your houseplants for 100% free. And for example, this is the one that I mounted the other day. And everything that I'm using in this video was 100% free except for the plant. So even the moss I have found, and obviously it's not going to look as pretty as if you were to make it, but it really, if you look at it from a distance, it's just going to look the exact same anyway. It looks super duper pretty, and we're going to be talking about the requirements to be able to mount your plants, what type of plants you need to mount. I'm going to be guiding you through the entire process of me mounting, finding the moss, and etc. So you can't just go around and mount every single plant you see. There's going to be certain requirements to the certain types of plants you should be mounting, and certain types of plants that you should mount are one of those plants that will grow on trees outside if you weren't domesticating them. For example, most of houseplants are just wild and they do grow on trees, but not all of them. I wouldn't recommend mounting calatheas on the other hand because they're so they have such roots and they're going to need a lot more water, and that you're not going to be able to keep up with it if you're going to mount a calathea, versus if you're going to mount something like this, which is a Rhaphidophora Hayi, and this is something that I got from Lowe's for $7 in this pot with a front and a back, which I removed the back of it to just mount. So I would definitely recommend mounting only plants that can be mounted, and you could do that by a quick Google search, and if they say epiphytic or semi-epiphytic plants, then you can go ahead and mount them and they'll do perfectly fine. But if it doesn't say any information about that, I'll just pause. There's another thing that I would watch out before I would mount the plant is if they're going to look pretty as mounted or not. Versus if I was going to mount a ficus, for example, like this one right here or this one, I could definitely go ahead and mount them, but it's not just going to have that structure that you want with a mounted plant, because with a mounted plant, what I most likely like is something that's just going to trail, it's just going to hook into the moss, versus ficus aren't going to do that, even though they would grow on trees in the wild. So appearance is definitely a main thing that you're going to have to look out for, because it's definitely not a requirement to mount them anyway. Well, now that we talked about the plants, a specific type of plants that you'll need to mount them, we're going to be talking about the things you need, the materials to make your mounted plant. So some of the essentials to make your mounted plant is going to be a wooden plank. I would definitely recommend wood over any other material, just because wood is going to replicate trees, and you know, trees are what plants are going to actually hook onto if they were actually growing in the wild, versus if you're just going to do in a plank of metal, which is not going to look as aesthetic either. So definitely get a plank of wood. This one I just particularly found next to a building, so I just used it, but it's just going to start to get a little bit moldy than if you were to get some sort of driftwood or something from Lowe's. So definitely, if you can't find any wood or get lucky with it, I would definitely go ahead and buy some wood, or else I would just definitely find one. It's pretty easy to do it as well. And also another requirement, which is a super duper essential thing, is the moss. And the moss that I'm using here is sheet moss that I found outside, and in this video we're going to go over how to find that sheet moss and how to wash it out and everything properly. So anyway, I use sheet moss to make this, and it's not as moisture resistant as a sphagnum moss, for example, but sphagnum moss is going to more likely retain it. But some people do use sphagnum moss and then go over it with sheet moss to get more of that alive nature. So if you have sphagnum moss just laying around, I would definitely use it, but the moss that I'm going to use in this video is pretty easy to find if you have a stream anywhere next to you. Especially where I live, there's like probably at least like 20 streams just going everywhere, so hidden away in the woods. So I definitely have a lot of these mosses growing, so why not take use of the material you have anyway. So if you don't want to be spending money and you just want it to grow anyway, I'll just stick around and watch me collect it. And then another essential ingredient is, like, which all of these stuff are actually essential anyway, so is some sort of thread or fishing line, which I would actually recommend fishing line, because you can't see it, it's just going to blend in, versus what you're seeing right here. This white lining is, you're able to see it, and I'm not the biggest fan, but I definitely can't see it if someone's going to look at it straight away. So I'm fine with it, but if you have fishing line, you could definitely use it. And I don't know where to buy fishing line, or I don't have any, just because there's no fishing sites where I live right now. And then to drill into the wood piece, you're probably going to need some nails. And I just got a boulder outside and just knocked it in because I couldn't find my hammer. And so some sort of nails that you can actually push into the wood. And then into the wall, you could just push in some push pins if you don't want to make big of a hole in the wall. Because in the area where I live, I can't make that big of a hole anyway. So use push pins in the wall and probably nails in the wood. In my case, this actually hangs. I don't just sit it on the floor like this. I actually have something that I could tie it onto and have it more like that, which is what most people like with this anyway. So as well, get some rope to be able to knead through the pins and hang it. Here comes the fun part. We're going to be going outside to the lake, which is like pretty far away. It's not that far away, probably like half a mile. So I'm going to walk all the way there. It's 2 p.m. It's sunny. Well, anyway, we're gonna have to go for this video, so see you there. Okay, so we're here where we need to be, and hopefully you can see me properly. And make sure you would have brought a bag. And this bench is super disgusting, so I'm gonna get off of it and show you where to pick your moss. As you can see here, there's like a whole bunch of moss, and so basically, you don't want this type of moss. That's like cloudy. You got one of the long, like more street moss type of looking thing. So, get the camera in position. So here, this type of moss, and I'm just going to go underneath. Sorry, and I'm just going to remove it like that. So you get the idea. So here's the situation. And I'm pretty sure that there's not any snakes over here just because the water is super duper clear as well, so I can see right through, and if there were any snakes I could quickly take a run for as fast as I could. And the last time I did this, I used 5 additional buckets to the 3 buckets I used, and they're all 5-gallon buckets, and that's a lot of water, and that's a big waste of water, and it used to clog the tubs all the time, sorry. And so basically I'm in a very uncomfortable situation right now, so I'm going to set you guys down and show you exactly how to clean them in this little stream, because it's a headache to do it at home. Hopefully this angle works for y'all. And so basically here's the moss. Hopefully it's not on slow-mo, and I'm just going to put into the lake and just kind of do that. And usually the dirt should come right off of it as well, and then it should become a lot more cleaner, and then you can squeeze it and do it several more times just to get all the dirt out of it. So, wait, yeah. This is a lengthy process as well. I probably sat here for 40 minutes the last time I did it for a high, so this is not just a clean and go. And with that much moss at the beginning, I probably got this. That was a fail. So hopefully you guys get the idea, and I'm just going to, like, I don't know, keep this, and I'm going to keep going until I get enough for what I need, and I'm going to have to turn off the camera just because the camera keeps falling and I can't risk it falling in the water. So I'm just going to set you guys down. I'm pretty sure it's going to keep you guys from getting headaches as well, just because I'm going to be moving it so much. So you get the idea. Just drain it in the water, squeeze it until it's not dirty anymore. Okay, so we've got a little bit, and we got a little bit at home. Now the only challenge is to find that piece of wood. I'm 100% guaranteed that I'll find a piece of wood around here. After a long hunting, I found these 2 shards of wood, and I'll be seeing which one of these I'll be using later in the video, because they both look pretty cute. Okay, we're back, and today we're going to be mounting this Dischidia, and Dischidia are also great mount plants, and in the wild they do mount. And I've seen a lot of people mount these as well, so I'm gonna go ahead and mount my Dischidia. So this particular one I got from Steph Hall, and it came in great condition, and I did lose a couple of plants just because of shipping shock, but that's completely normal. This is a great vining plant as well. So I'm totally out of breath, but okay, so we're gonna be using this plank right here, and I don't know if we're gonna need to be using the moss that we collected today, so I'm just going to be using the moss that I already had before. And first we're going to start off with adding some of the moss to the bottom like this. I'll have to switch angles. Okay, so add some moss to the bottom like this. Yeah, like that. Maybe get rid of some, make it a thin little area for it to dig into as well. So do that. a little bit at the bottom, and then you're going to get your plant, and then this is going to be a little messy part, but alright, take it out, and I'm going to get rid of the soil. Most of it. I'm going to keep some of it. I'm going to keep some of it though, just because I think this guy thrives in a little bit more soil than if it was a high smudge. And then I'll lay it like that. Oh my god. Okay, I'll lay it like that, and then I'll probably face it a little forward like this, and then I'll push it down a little bit more. Adjust it to your liking, and then grab a little bit more moss, and then just put it like that, and then adjust it around the plant. Like that. Yes, just keep going, and then just once you've covered it, you can get your thread. Get your thread and maybe just hang it off a little bit like that, and then really just go in and just start wrapping it. The first one's gonna be a little hard, but then after that, you could just go in and go have fun with it. There's so much on the floor right now, which I'm gonna have to clean. If you have anything underneath, and do it there. And this one I'm not going to strip it onto it because I do think that I like it more funky. So yeah, I'm just going to put some there, and then again. This is a process for sure, but I would definitely just buy some store-bought stuff if you don't want to go through all of this. So yeah, but I do think that it's super fun and a cute way to display your plants than it's normal how plants are displayed, because if someone were to come, they'd probably be more likely to point out the ones that are mounted versus the normal ones that are just hanging out. Not that they're any special, but it's just a cool way that people didn't expect for houseplants to grow, you know? So we're done. So I'm not pretty satisfied with how it's looking right now, but as it grows up, I'm pretty sure it's just going to fill in and just look much more better, because fuller and more bushier plants always tend to look better. Right now it's just like a couple of strands just sticking out. So maybe I could do something by sticking it back. 1 second. I just kind of held it back for a little bit and it's starting to do a little bit more better. Now I'm going to show you how to water them. This is how you water it. Just start out with a mug of regular water and then just dip in your plant and just let it sit there for a little bit, for like 5 seconds. And I'll definitely go ahead and fertilizer added to it as well, but I just wanted to show you real quick. I didn't want to go all the way downstairs because I'm already tired anyway, so this is my final product. Alright guys, that's a pretty exhausting lengthy video, and I'll show you how to put in the push pins. One last thing before you guys can leave. And then yeah. So I just, since this one is small, I just put it like that, and this guy can just go straight into the wall. And so I think that's, I'll remove it again, sorry. So I'll just put it there. I think this guy can just go straight into the wall without any issues, and I'll show you where I'm going to put him. Alright guys, this is going to wrap up this week's video on me mounting houseplants and finding my moss and creating the entire thing from scratch. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.